On May 25th, 2023, at midnight, 4 pairs of anxious eyes gazed from base camp towards Kanchenjunga Massif. Despite the partially clear sky, they could see the climbers' route to the summit. As time passed, doubt crept in, but suddenly, a faint row of moving lights appeared. The experienced eyes confirmed that the climbers were steadily progressing towards the summit. With excitement, they retreated to their tents, listening intently to the radio for updates. At 7:15 a.m., a familiar voice crackled. Jayanta Nath calling out, "Manashda, we did it for AMA. We are on the summit of Mount Kanchenjunga. Thank you all." Jayanta Nath and Bhaskar, both from Assam Mountaineering Association, had made history that morning. After successfully ascending Mount Everest from the traditional Nepal side on May 19, 2016, the Assam Mountaineering Association set its sight on conquering the mountain from China side. Team Everest immediately swung into action and embarked on a high-altitude intense physical conditioning in different ranges of Indian Himalayas, covering Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and Arunachal Pradesh. In the process, the team went on to climb Mount Jogin 1 and Jogin 3, Mount Noon, Mount Yunum, and Mount Uti Kangri. When the team was all set to go to Everest, the COVID-19 pandemic broke in like a bolt from the blue. Nepal and China suspended all mountaineering activities in the Himalayas from their sides. Following improvement in COVID-19 situation in 2021, climbing resumed in Nepal. But China did not allow any climbing from their side. So AMA had to find out an alternative. In the later part of 2022, a delegation led by Sri Satyen Sharma, chief convener of the Everest expedition, Sri Shekhar Bordoloi, the then president of AMA, Sri Manash Barooah, general secretary of AMA, met with Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, to propose an alternative expedition to Mount Kanchenjunga, which was at a height of 8,586 meters from the Nepal side. Our sports enthusiast, Honorable Chief Minister, gladly approved the plan and also agreed to support the team as the chef de mission of AMA Kanchenjunga Expedition 2023. Preparing on a war footing, the organizing committee left no stone unturned to complete all the logistics meticulously for this 2-month-long mega venture. The Expedition Selection Committee selected 7 members from a pool of AMA climbers to make a try on the world's 3rd highest peak. They were Manash Barooah, leader; Dr. Jagadish Basumatary, deputy leader and medical officer; Upen Chakraborty, joint deputy leader; Bhaskar Baruah, Kaushik Das, Shekhar Bordoloi, and Jayanta Nath. On April 7, 2023, Srimati Draupadi Murmu, the Honorable President of India, conducted a flag-off ceremony at the State Guest House, Koinadhara, Guwahati, in the presence of Sri Gulab Chand Kataria, the Honorable Governor of Assam, Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, high-ranking government officials of the Sports and Youth Welfare Department, Government of Assam. This ceremony, in which the Honorable President handed over the ice axe and the national tricolour to Sri Manash Barooah, leader of the expedition, symbolized the official send-off to the expedition and the flag to be unfurled on the summit. Mount Kanchenjunga, the highest peak in India and the 3rd highest in the world, is situated in the India-Nepal border as arc of the Himalayan mountain range. It reaches an impressive altitude of 8,586 meters. The name Kanchenjunga translates to the 5 treasures of God, representing the divine repositories of gold, silver, gems, grain and holy books. 3 of the 5 peaks are located in North Sikkim near Nepal border, while the remaining 2 are situated entirely in Nepal's Taplejung district. The 5 peaks of Kanchenjunga are Kanchenjunga Main, which is at a height of 8,586 meters, Kanchenjunga West, 8,505 meters, Kanchenjunga Central, 8,482 meters, Kanchenjunga South, 8,494 meters, and Kangbashin, 7,903 meters. For the Sikkimese people, Mount Kanchenjunga holds great reverence, as it is believed to be the dwelling place of their guardian deity, Zona. The team left Guwahati for Nepal on the 11th of April 2023. Travelling via Kakarbita and Taplejung, they reached Helok, the last motorhead in the eastern Nepal region, on 14th of April.
আমি হেলক পালোহি হেলকত লাঞ্চ কৰিলোঁ আৰু এতিয়া যাবলৈ ৰেডি এই ডক্টৰটা ৰেডি হৈছে কেনে ডক্টৰটা প্ৰথম ট্ৰেকিং আৰম্ভ হ'ব
From here, the team took the southern route to the Kanchenjunga base camp the same evening. The low altitude of the trek was adorned with lush green forests and bamboo, known to be habitats of the endangered red pandas, marked by informative signboards. As they gained altitude, the trekkers were greeted by pines, cedars, and blooming rhododendrons. Along the way to the base camp, the team stayed at the tea house in Yasang, Torending, Sairam, and Ramsey, before finally reaching the starting point of the formidable Kanchenjunga glacier.
This is the trekking hut in the Assam. It's beautifully made of wood. আজি হল 15 তাৰিখ 15 এপ্ৰিল তো আজি বিহু হয় ৰঙালী বিহু আজি আমাৰ নতুন বছৰ লাইছো আজি সেকেন্ড ডে ট্ৰেক যাবলৈ এইটো জেগা নাম হল ইয়াসাং আৰু আজি য'ত গৈ আছো জেগাৰ নাম তৰণদিন This is the Lase Bridge.
আমি এতিয়া কাঞ্চনজঙ্ঘা বেছ কেম্পৰ ৰাস্তাত চেৰাম বুলি এখন ঠাইত আছোঁ চেৰামৰ উচ্চতা সমুদ্ৰ পৃষ্ঠৰ পৰা 4000 মিটাৰ
The Kanchenjunga glacier, originating from Kanchenjunga group of peaks, flows westward on the Nepal side. It poses a significant risk to climbers due to its treacherous features such as crevasses, icy lakes, large ice blocks, and debris. Crossing the glacier to reach the base camp is perilous, with the potential for people to go missing. Our team took 2 days, navigating the glacier, camping at middle point halfway to the base camp under very inclement weather conditions.
So it's snowing pretty hard, thunderstorm और ये कैंप एकदम पत्थर के बीच में था हम लोग ने गलत रास्ता ले लिया था पर अंत भला सब भला
On April 21st, we faced one of the most challenging and dangerous glacier crossings in the Himalayas while trekking from the middle point to the base camp. Multiple crevasses and varying heights of ice walls had to be negotiated without the aid of fixed ropes. Wet and vulnerable to hypothermia, we reached the foothill of a massive snow wall, approximately 600 feet high and inclined at 60 degrees. Overcoming this final obstacle before reaching the base camp was exhausting after an 11-hour trek. However, the promise of a warm meal and a warm sleeping bag at the base camp fueled us to push forward. Using fixed ropes at one stretch, we took around an hour to climb the treacherous wall. Upon arrival, we sought refuge in the kitchen tent, where burning stoves provided much-needed warmth. After changing into dry and warm clothes, we enjoyed hot teas, soups, and satisfying meals to replenish our energy. Finally, everyone retired to their respective tents for the night.
আৰু বহুত দিন ওয়েদাৰ বেয়া হোৱাৰ পিছত আজি পুৰা ক্লিয়াৰ ওয়েদাৰ হৈছে আৰু আমাৰ ইয়াত পূজা কৰিছে এতিয়া
After solemnizing the Sherpa Puja ceremony on the 26th of April, preparation for the acclimatization workout for the climbing members above the base camp got underway.
আজি টিম ওপৰলৈ যাবলৈ ৰেডি হৈছে পূজা আমাৰ হৈ গ'ল যোৱাকালি গতিকে আজিৰ পৰা আমাৰ ওপৰ মুভমেণ্ট আৰম্ভ হ'ব আজি ফাৰ্ষ্ট কেম্প ওৱানৰ অলমোষ্ট হাফ পাৰ্ট আমি টিমটো আগবাঢ়ি গৈ এটা নিজকে এক্লিমেটাইজেশ্যন ট্ৰিপ হিচাপে আগবাঢ়ি তাৰ নেক্সট ষ্টেপৰ কাৰণে ৰেডি হ'ব গতিকে সবকে বেষ্ট উইচেছ জনালোঁ
Climbers ascend to higher altitudes and stay there for several nights before returning to the base camp to get their bodies adapted to the low levels of oxygen at high altitudes. This cycle of climbing and descending, known as rotation, is repeated multiple times. Our summit hopeful, Bhaskar Baruah, Kaushik Das, Shekhar Bordoloi, and Jayanta Nath completed 3 rotations within a week. Finally, they ascended to touch a camp beyond 7,000 meters on their 4th rotation. These workouts made them well acclimatized and motivated before their ultimate summit attempt on the staggering Mount Kanchenjunga, which stands at an elevation of 8,586 meters above sea level. Mount Kanchenjunga is notorious for its unpredictable weather conditions. Reports of failed expeditions due to unfavorable weather are many.
कंचनजंगा इस साल बहुत वेदर चैलेंज कर रहे हैं कल भी अभी तक हमने वो कैंप तक रोड फिक्सिंग किया कल भी हम यहाँ से सब हमारा इक्विपमेंट लेके कैंप टूर गया था कल हमारा क्लाइंट्स लोग शेरपा लोग भी सब कैंप रहेगा
Our weather reports predicted minimal snowfall and wind speeds ranging from 5 to 10 kilometers per hour on the higher ridges of Kanchenjunga during May 11th to 14th, May 17th to 23rd, and May 24th to 25th. However, the report also cautioned that strong winds of 80 to 100 kilometers per hour were expected to hit Kanchenjunga after 11 am on May 25th. After careful consideration of the weather forecast and discussion with senior Sherpas, the team decided to make the summit attempt from Camp 4 on the evening of May 17th. Accordingly, Bhaskar Baruah, Kaushik Das, Shekhar Bordoloi, and Jayanta Nath left the base camp at 8 am on May 15th. Despite light snowfall and cloudy conditions enveloping the mountain, the route to Camp 1, located at around 6,200 meters, was a steep slope of ice and snow with an inclination ranging between 60 to 80 degrees. Interestingly, Camp 2 was situated in a large ice field, approximately 100 feet below Camp 1.
So, we are here at Camp 2.
Camp 2. For the final push.
For the final push.
The climbers bypassed Camp 1 and proceeded directly to Camp 2.
Weather is very bad at Camp 2. You can hear the winds.
After spending the night there, they faced one of the longest and most challenging sections of the route the following morning. It took them approximately 7 hours to navigate knee-deep snow, numerous crevasses, and a 100-feet wall of blue ice before reaching Camp 3, located above a serac of blue ice at an altitude of 6,900 meters.
On the way to Camp 3.
Camp 3 at a height of 7,000 meters approximately, and we're all wearing dungarees. This is our wrap dungaree, and this is the oxygen.
Here the climbers used bottled oxygen while sleeping in their tents for the first time in the expedition.
Almost Camp 4 ওচৰত আৰু 100-200 মিটাৰ আছে। আমি ৰাতিপুৱাই ওলাইছো
8:53, not even 9.
এইটো জয়ন্ত
We'll be there at
10
maximum.
The team planned to start early next morning so that they could reach Camp 4, located at 7,500 meters, as early as possible.
Camp 4, that's Shekhar.
Here we are at Camp 4 of Kanchenjunga. 10টা বজাত আহি পালো, সন্ধিয়া 5টা বজাত ওলাম।
They knew they needed enough time to rest and rehydrate at Camp 4 before embarking on the final 14 hours of arduous climb to the summit. They did so and stepped into their tents at Camp 4 at about 1:30 p.m. Our hopeful summiters started to climb from Camp 4 at 5:30 p.m.
हम जा रहे हैं कंचनजंगा समिट और सबसे आगे है फिक्सिंग टीम रो फिक्स कर रहा है आगे।
After a strenuous 7 hours climb, they reached Acclimatization around midnight. From there, the team of Sherpas guiding the route led them to the right side of the couloirs in the darkness. The subsequent section of the ascent comprised of both rocky and snowy terrain. Climbing cautiously throughout the night, they found themselves on a rocky cliff around 5:30 a.m. To their dismay, they discovered a deep gorge beyond the cliff, with no further route to the summit. Around 20 climbers from different countries had also arrived at this point, which was prone to rockfall. Tragically, assembling of so many people triggered a rockfall, resulting in injuries to climbers and Sherpas, including Ankami from our team. Altimeter reading indicated an altitude of 8,350 meters, with Kanchenjunga just 200 meters away. However, there was no viable path to the summit. The route opening Sherpas realized their mistakes, as they had been following an incorrect route from the couloirs. With no other option available to proceed from the cliff that morning, they instructed everyone to retreat to Camp 4. Our 4 climbers, along with others, were devastated to have come so close to the summit only to miss it through no fault of their own.
रास्ता भूल फिर दूसरा रास्ता ट्राई करेगा.
On being apprised of the situation immediately by Jayanta Nath over walkie-talkie, Manash Barooah, the experienced expedition leader, assessed the situation with patience and wisdom. He instructed them to return to the base camp, consoling them with his promise that he will reorganize everything to make another summit attempt. Accordingly, Bhaskar, Kaushik, Shekhar and Jayanta arrived at the base camp on 19th of May at 6 p.m, exhausted but in good health. What followed next was multiple sessions of intense diplomacy. Manash Barooah, along with his deputies, engaged in an intense discussion with the senior Sherpas of different groups regarding a second attempt. Initially, the Sherpas were hesitant and even considered closing the base camp as a mark of aborting the expedition. However, Team AMA strongly objected to this decision, reminding them that the failure of the first attempt was entirely their fault. It was their responsibility to provide another opportunity to the climbers who had invested significant time and money to be there. Eventually, they came to their senses and started preparing for another summit, pushed under the leadership of AMA Sherpas team. The weather forecast indicated ideal conditions for climbing on the 24th and 25th of May. A bad news was waiting for us. We were told that we were running severely low on our stock of oxygen bottles. We had enough of them to send just 2 climbers from all the 4 of the initial party for the reorganized second attempt. Therefore, a decision had to be made, and based on their overall fitness, performance and experience, Bhaskar Baruah and Jayanta Nath were chosen. We also considered feedback from our Sherpas who had climbed with them during rotations and the first summit push. Jayanta and Bhaskar embarked on their second summit attempt from Camp 4 towards the Kanchenjunga main summit on May 24th at 5:30 p.m, less than a week after their initial failed attempt. This challenging task required exceptional fitness, determination and courage. Benefiting from a favorable weather, they reached the Kulua by 11 p.m, where the guide Sherpas had made a wrong turn during the first attempt. This time, they were cautious not to repeat the mistake. The Sherpas and the climbers turned left from the Kulua, ascending the rocky and snowy portion of the south ridge of the summit. Along the way, Jayanta and Bhaskar changed their empty oxygen cylinders. As dawn approached around 3:45 a.m, the climbers reached a location known as Olmoral, where a deceased climber, likely succumbing to exhaustion and hypothermia, still rests. From this point, the summit was a 2 to 3 hour climb. The climbers turned towards the east face, the Indian side, traversing a wall before redirecting to the west face. They then encountered a ridge, leading them directly to the summit of Kanchenjunga main peak, the third highest mountain in the world, standing at 8,586 meters above sea levels. Jayanta and Bhaskar experienced an exhilarating sense of closeness to the summit. With their remaining energy, they skillfully negotiated the final steep snowy slope, embracing the warm embrace of Mount Kanchenjunga. At 7:15 a.m. IST on May 25, 2023, they successfully stood atop Mount Kanchenjunga, accompanied by 8 climbers from China, France, Germany, Italy, UK and other countries. The summit celebration united climbers who had spent nearly a month together, forging bonds of friendship and brotherhood. This exemplifies the beauty of sports.
So, very good morning. Thank you everyone, starting from Manash Da, our team leader, goes to deputy leader Dr. Da, Shekhar and Kaushik Da. You are the one a part of this. You are not another. This is for you guys, brother.
The Assamese duo of Jayanta and Bhaskar triumphantly unfurled the Indian tricolour among the Phulam Gamusa and AMA flag atop the world's third highest mountain. They also achieved the distinction of becoming the only Indians to have reached the summit of Kanchenjunga main in the year 2023. To our great happiness and relief, Jayanta and Bhaskar returned to the base camp triumphantly on the evening of 26th of May. Unfortunately, Jayanta suffered second-degree frostbite in the fingers of both hands, and he is currently undergoing treatment. In order to avoid the risk of the hazardous glacier crossing again, we decided to hire helicopter service to descend from the base camp. According to the plan, several sorties of choppers took us down to Sairam safely. From there, our journey back home was quick and quite uneventful. The homecoming victorious team was showered with grand welcome and felicitations by various social organizations, educational institutions, and student bodies. Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma, our Honorable Chief Minister and the Chef de Mission of AMA Kanchenjunga Expedition, felicitated all the members of the victorious expedition team in a glittering function held in the CM Secretariat in the presence of Nondita Garlosa, Minister of Sports, and some other cabinet colleagues on the 11th of June 2023. In the felicitation ceremony, while Bhaskar Baruah and Jayanta Nath, the two summiters, were presented with a citation and a cheque of Rs 5 lakhs each, the rest of the team were presented with a citation and a cheque of Rs 2.5 lakhs each. The Assam Mountaineering Association has achieved an enviable feat by conducting the first successful expedition from the northeast to Mount Kanchenjunga, the world's third highest and one of the most difficult mountains to climb, during this spring session. The entire expedition was an epitome of disciplined teamwork. Manash Barooah, who was ably supported by his two deputies, led the team as a close-knit family. No praise is enough for Jayanta and Bhaskar, who by their performance have set an example for our youth to emulate. Equally commendable was the feat achieved by Kaushik and Shekhar, who missed the summit of Kanchenjunga by mere 160 meters, when their first summit attempt had to be aborted due to the miserable mistake committed by the route opening Sherpas on that fateful night of 17th of May. Assam Mountaineering Association is steadfast in their avowed commitment to produce groups of responsible youths by instilling in them leadership qualities with a sense of discipline and determination. There is a long way to go for us, but we will strive hard to achieve that, come what may. Long live AMA.